Hey everyone, welcome to the Pop Off on Pop Culture podcast with Johnny, Hollywood, and California Dave, aka Jonathan and Dave.
Just Dave to my friends and family. How you doing, guys?
And enemies.
Well, yes. Okay, fair enough.
So tonight we're going to talk about, both of us just watched separately Zack Snyder's Justice.
Zack Snyder is wait. Okay, that's the porn version. Okay, Zack Snyder's Pop Off Justice League, starring the formerly incarcerated Jeremy. What's his name? You know, big penis Jeremy, school teacher. You know,
the hedgehog. Ron Jeremy,
right before he was incarcerated, they did a Jack off Snyder's Justice League.
You mean Ron Jeremy?
Yeah, and they actually used footage from Joel Schumacher's cod pieces of the Batsuit.
Tell the Ron Jeremy story. Where did you meet him?
The Hollywood Bowl. I didn't actually meet him, but he allowed me to take a picture of him.
From the waist up.
I can't believe you remember that, Jonathan. Anyway, wait, are we using aliases? No, we're not. You already mentioned that. Hey, how's it going?
Okay, so back to Zack Snyder's Justice.
Not Jack off Snyder's, but Zack Snyder's, which again. Well, not again, because we're just not recording. But I probably annoyed my significant others a lot by saying it's not Justice League, it's a Zack Snyder's Justice League, or Snyder Cut, which is not. It's not, the technical term, but we have to honor, it's Zack Snyder's Justice League, and that's what it's called.
Well, the other night, my very patient wife with me the past year said
I can so relate.
She has heard the phrase Zack Snyder's Justice League more than COVID in the past year.
Yeah. Well, so I respect that, and I have bottled this up so much. It might have even been a surprise to my wife, but I believe that I probably talked about this movie to her over lunch today in 3 hours time, probably more than she ever wanted to hear in a lifetime. But again, much the same as you, I had it bottled up inside and I couldn't contain myself. So today I'm like, so let me tell you where it started. Let me tell you that behind the scenes, Warner Brothers had this vision and Zack Snyder did this and blah, blah, blah. And, Marvel did this and they had to compare. And, I mean, like, to her credit, my awesome, wonderful, beautiful wife was listening and very attentive, but I felt bad because I feel like she probably wanted to talk about something more substantial than, Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Like Ron Jeremy's Zack Snyder.
Like, I'm 57% sure that Ron Jeremy's penis would have been a much better, more stimulating conversation. But 57% sure,
give or take.
Yeah, but listen. The fact of the matter is, he's in jail because he's a fucking. What do you do? Child molestation? No. Listen. This is about Zack Snyder's Justice League. We've been waiting for years for this. Okay, listen.
What are your thoughts? Off the cuff.
Okay. Off the cuff. I will tell you in no random order. At that 2 hour mark, I swear to you, I turned to my wife and I'm like, I can't believe it's only 2 hours. I feel like we've been watching this for like 30 minutes.
Yeah.
And then at the 3 hour mark, I turned to her and I said, I hate that there's only an hour left. I hate that.
I paused it. I had to get another glass.
Yes, right.
I'm like, there's only 1 hour left.
Well, how can there be 1 hour left? And I'm like thinking, I pray to the gods of bathroom breaks and beer breaks that there's more than an hour left. But as you know, with HBO Max, not like a Blu-ray, if you pause it, you don't know how much time is left.
No, it didn't show you.
Right? Yes. Yeah, and Brendan noticed that too. She's like, "How do you know how much time is left?" I'm like, "I don't know, but I sure as fuck hope it's more than an hour. I do." And you asked me for my initial thoughts. I'm giving them to you.
Yes.
It, it was like binging the best Netflix show ever, like Breaking Bad, for example. And I'm not saying it. I'm not saying like. I'm not trying to compare that to a Netflix show because Breaking Bad's not a Netflix show. I'm trying to compare it to a show that you binge and you realize 2 hours have gone by, 3 hours have gone by, and you're not bored. You're not looking at your watch. It's captivating. That's what I want to say. I don't want to give spoilers unless
we're doing spoilers.
We are.
We'll have a warning.
This is spoilers?
Warning in the title. There are spoilers.
Okay. So for those of you listeners at home, Bruce Wayne does not don the Batman cape until I think 2.5 hours into the movie, maybe even 3.5 hours. But I remember turning to Brenda and I'm like, it's this long and he's just now Batman, and I'm so okay with that. Think about it. It was a long, drawn out, character driven story. It just look. We don't have an agenda. We're both drunk. We can go into it. But again, to answer your question, captivating. Just fucking. I'm in there. I'm drawn. There was not a moment where I am bored. I am, thinking about, okay, what's going to happen next? Where's the action sequence? I'm totally enthralled with what's happening. Amazing.
Amazing. So you were telling me a little bit about pausing, clapping, going to that.
Okay. So, I lost my shit. I let myself go. There was a few scenes where I just was clapping and like stomping my feet like I'm at a fucking high school football game. One moment I can remember, obviously, was Superman coming back. That was one moment. Another moment was just. Sorry, I can't recall. I'm on the spot. We're being recorded. Stage fright. But I can tell you that there were many scenes where I was stomping my feet and just clapping and probably annoying people in the house. And I'm okay with that. It was a me moment. It was me waiting for this movie to happen. And I almost wish it was in a movie theater environment because
could you imagine that?
The synergy, you know what I mean? The synergy of everyone. It made me think of Avengers Endgame. And I don't want to like say that it should have been a Marvel movie because they're separate, but it made me think of Avengers, the last Marvel movie where people just lost their shit and you got involved. And it's almost like doing a wave in the movie theater or at a sports game. So many elements, just fucking amazing. And the text that you shared with me, which was, I think it was a screenshot of someone saying that the final act was the best superhero action. And I was ready for that. And yes. I got to tell you, that was 100% true. Holy fucking shit. And all right, we're doing spoilers and we're not doing anything in order, right? Okay. No bullet points, no agenda.
Nope. Spoilers are
okay. So a couple things. When black suited Superman came out of nowhere and beat the fuck out of Steppenwolf. I mean, he was just wailing on him and wailing on him. Angry. The laser eyes.
Yes.
Okay, that was a stomping foot clapping moment.
Oh, complete. As soon as he showed up and he said, "I'm not impressed," and then he hits the shit out of him.
Bam. And then when Wonder Woman cuts his fucking head off, what? Sends him back into Darkseid's dimension. Here's his head. Fuck you. We're done. That was amazing. Just amazing.
How about Wonder Woman in the scene where the terrorists are there?
I know we're gonna say. I know we're gonna say.
Heads are bashing against the wall, blood spurting out.
Jonathan, she fucking blew that fucking head terrorist up. Like that was so not in the Justice League version. Like his hat comes rolling out of the window, boop, 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 beep, boop, just his hat.
Aggressive, like it was almost comical the way.
Yeah, it was.
And we will do a whole different podcast breakdown on Justice League.
Oh, of course we will.
It's the brunch edition. Thank God there was no brunch joke.
Jonathan, okay, so confession session. When they started showing the backstory of the Flash, and we get to see how insecure he is right before he saves Iris, which, by the way, I got to tell you, was probably one of my favorite scenes.
Oh, amazing!
And I'll get into that. I was borderline concerned that the brunch line was in Zack's movie because Zack set up Barry's character. So I'm glad it wasn't. What I think was that Joss saw, the footage, and he's like, oh, okay, so this is what Zack wanted for Barry. Insecure guy, no friends. So I'm gonna add a little brunch joke.
Yes.
So I was like borderline on the fence, concerned that that's going to be in the movie. Like, oh shit, please don't let that be the Zack version.
Oh,
and it wasn't.
Well, and two, because Zack or Joss was on set rewriting and adding jokes. Okay. So I think maybe that was filmed with Zack, and then he's like, I'm not going to put this garbage in the movie, this joke. But I think it was filmed because Josses are on the set writing these ridiculous jokes. And, by the way, thank God, no Russian family.
Oh my God!
Fluorescent vines going through a Russian
exactly town. And even when they showed that the whole hotspot was in Moscow, I was still worried, like, oh shit.
When you saw the house there,
yes, is the Russian family going to be in it? Like there were many times where I'm like worried, like, sorry, that's my dog.
Like that's a good impersonation.
my Chihuahua Gizmo, he hates Joss Whedon so much. He's like,
don't feed him after midnight.
Sorry, Gizmo. Yeah, exactly. Because he will multiply into a Russian family, with a mother box. but there, to Zack's credit, there were some comedic elements, and look, it doesn't have to be super dark. Even Tim Burton's Batman has some comedic elements. There should be some dark, some lighthearted elements. Yes. And I love how Barry was, the comic relief, and it set him up. It set him up as a character, and it was very similar to how the CW did with Grant Gustin. If you remember the early days of Arrow when he was introduced. His whole origin was, I'm late, I'm always late, I'm always late.
Yes.
Very, very, very similar. You almost do need some comedic relief, because even hardcore Warner Brothers DC fans, you can't have everything dark. You got to have a little bit of element of light.
Some humor. And Barry had enough humor, but without sacrificing his hero character, which I love. So it's like he's
absolutely,
but he's not like, I push people and run away. None of that.
Right.
Step up, and he's going to get the job done, and that's what he did.
And Joss's, one of Joss's biggest, discrepancies, he had many, was not showcasing the hero's potential.
Yes.
And what I mean by that, going back to Flash, one of my favorite scenes is when Barry was interviewing for a job for like a dog caretaker. Yeah. And again, we're doing spoilers. Sorry, everyone. You've been warned. And it wasn't just that he saved Iris. It was that he fucking, like, when his feet pivoted and his shoes burst apart and he touched the glass of the door and it broke apart.
Awesome.
I mean, like, it's just amazingly aggressive, just in your face power. I love that. I love power when it's used for good. And it was so cool. Saved Iris.
When he grabbed the hot dog, I cried.
Grab the hot dog for the dogs. And he is such a great actor. And I guess Zack is a great director for, like, directing him. But Ezra Miller's, facial expressions, his eyes, the way they turned towards the hot dog and grabbed it, little things like that make it an awesome scene. Put it in his pocket. And Ed, we didn't know why. We did not know why.
I thought he was going to eat. I thought he was going to grab the bun of the hot dog and take a bite.
Me too. Yes, exactly. Saved her, eye contact, future wife. No one knows that, but geeks like us, goes back in the store, and then he's petting the dogs, and he's like, yeah, the dogs like a little bit of protein. And honestly, that was probably one of my favorite scenes. The heart in it, how powerful we saw his power was, just touching the glass door again, and just it's shattering.
The shoes, the concrete when stopped,
and
shredding,
just destroyed in a split fucking second. That to me was, that is Zack Snyder. That is the DC universe as it should be. Okay.
Yes.
Not knocking the Marvel universe. They are two separate entities.
Two separate things.
Yes.
I love Marvel. I love it. I've seen all the movies. I love them all. It's different. I don't want that for this. Now, side note, Dave, you and I, when we saw Sleepers years ago, when the truck driver hit the hot dog cart, did it remind you of that?
Wait, wasn't that the movie where the kids get fucking raped by the priest?
But that's not what I'm talking about. But it's remember the hot dog, they went to that.
I'm opening a beer, sorry.
Because they stole the hot dog cart.
I honestly don't remember that.
All right,
but however, you have a way better memory than me do.
I do. You're drunk and I'm just slightly buzzed. Okay, so let's go back. So here's my overall thing.
I have to disagree. I think that you're more drunk than I am, but your vocabulary is better than me, and I'm gonna pour myself a beer. But anyway, go ahead. What were you saying? Okay.
All right. So what I was telling Rachel tonight was,
hey, podcasters. Sorry, go ahead.
Cheers. So mine's water though. So what I liked about it was it told the why of everything. The mother box is a whole different side story with the mother boxes and the importance of it with Darkseid. It told the why. Even down, why was Bruce Wayne riding a horse to find Aquaman? We learned why.
Right. So and
beautifully shot too, and totally.
Oh my gosh!
Removed from the original version. Beautifully shot, probably in Iceland, I think.
I love also that was the first scene. I was surprised that the scene in the Justice version, where the very first scene where Bruce Wayne or Batman kills a parademon, blah 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 blah. I really thought that might be a Zack scene, but it wasn't. I love that the first scene was him finding Arthur, Aquaman, and I really love the line where they say, "There's no helicopters for miles.
Yes,
we're blocked off. It's there's a storm, and this guy just climbed over." That to me tells you a lot about why Batman is Batman. He's Batman. He's fucking Bruce Wayne.
He's awesome. He's the go-getter. He's focused. He needed.
Yes. Yeah. And then I realized we're all over the place, Jonathan, and we're going to be all over the place. I'm drunk. You're drunk. But an eventual podcast, I would actually like to have a chapter devoted to why Batman is truly the centerpiece of this movie and these three movies and the Snyderverse. He is the leader. And he brings them together. He directs them. They look up to him. But the very first scene, like you said, how did he get there? He got there. He's fucking Batman. He climbed.
Why didn't he just fly one of his expensive planes?
And he could have.
And so I'm thinking maybe it's healing. Like he needed a journey to Superman just died. He needed to heal and think and gather his thoughts. No, he couldn't get there because of the weather. So he takes a horse and he goes
all the way over the
mountains of Iceland or wherever. Exactly, I mean, that's right. They get stumped.
And
amazing.
And if you remember the original Justice League trailer, which took place,
it was in that.
Yes, about a year before the 2016 trailer.
The Comic-Con trailer.
We saw that. Yeah, the Comic-Con trailer. And I'm like, okay, finally. And the whole scene with him and Arthur and the Icelandic inn, just perfect. Yes. not comical. I mean,
no, I hear you talk to fish.
Yeah, yeah, done.
Gone.
Exactly. And I anyway, I love how it was done. I love that was the first scene. It set everything up.
Okay, let's jump. What did you think about the last scene?
The very last scene?
Very last scene.
Are we talking MM?
Yes. MM, Martian Manhunter, Bruce Wayne's house.
Well, I can tell you this. I rewound that fucker like 3 times and watched it again and again and again. And if you don't believe me, I will ask my beautiful wife to come over here and tell you, yeah, he rewound that shit 3 times. And I'm like, why are you rewinding that shit? I'm like, because it's Martian Manhunter. And she's like, I don't understand that. I'm like, no, Martian Manhunter. And she's like, that's a dumb name. And I'm like, yeah, I know it's a dumb name, but it's really not a dumb name. His name is John Johns. And she's like, that's also a dumb name. I'm like, I get that. And that's also a dumber name than Martian Manhunter. But you don't understand.
What's an MM and JJ?
Exactly. But for those of us in the know, he's almost more powerful than Superman. For those of us in the know, right? True to DC Comics, if you're in the know, Martian Manhunter has always been in the margin of fighting the good fight because he doesn't always have a stake in it. Oh. He's a fucking Martian. He's here on Earth. He doesn't have to be in the Justice League. He sometimes comes and goes. But
here's what I love. He was Stanwyck all along.
All along, movies from Man of Steel, from fucking Man of Steel, and he promoted to whatever he was in Batman versus Superman, some kind of secretary.
He was never scared of Superman. If you think about it, in their scenes together, never scared of him.
Yeah, and I would love to go back and watch both of those and just see him. Now the actor has gone on to say, "I didn't know I was going to be Martian Manhunter." I don't know if I believe that, JJ.
I know, Harry Lennox.
Yeah, Lennox, yeah. But I will say this. It was a gut punch scene when he masqueraded as Martha Kent.
Yes.
And like
in the hallway, red eyes.
It was so quick. I wish I would have rewound that just to see it again, and I will. But I didn't at the time. So I only saw that once. But at the very end, so confession session, when I saw this figure flying down in front of the new Wayne Manor
at first.
Yes, that's what I was gonna say. I thought it was Superman. He flies down. I'm like, oh, here's Superman. What's gonna happen? And it's motherfucking Martian Manhunter, full green skin, X on his chest, and Bruce Wayne's like,
can I help you? What do you want?
Can I help you? And here's what else I love about the Bruce Wayne of Zack Snyder universe. He's so hardened. He's been fighting crime for 20 years. Nothing surprises him.
Nothing.
This motherfucking green man with a cape flies down. He's like, drinking his coffee, probably hungover.
Yeah.
He's like,
popped his pain pills.
Exactly. Yeah. He probably just got out of a fight with Alfred, and he's like, Can I
he works for Alfred. I like that line too. He's like, I work for him.
I was talking to Brenda about what I love about B versus S, the dynamic between Bruce Wayne and Alfred, and how grounded that made the character. I mean, like, I love how Alfred has a love-hate relationship with Bruce. Like he had undying devotion, but he's so mad at him for never settling down. And it's like, and Alfred has a point. I'm definitely pro Alfred, team Alfred. Like, the crime never changes, whether it's penguins or jokers or whatever. It never. When are you going to stop? Like, maybe there'll be a Batman after you. Maybe there won't be a Batman after you. But even if you stop, just settle down. Crime's gonna. You're not changing Gotham, is what I'm trying to say. No. So,
and here's the thing, and it was corrupting him. He was becoming cruel. Remember that?
The branding. Yeah, it actually made him be like worse.
The fever, the rage, which turns bad men cruel.
Yeah.
What I loved about it too is, like, he made the joke. He's like, well, basically you're not a leader because you're in a bat cave all day.
Yeah.
I can't believe people don't want to follow you.
Yeah, and that's another thing I like about this Alfred is he is not subservient. He tells Bruce how it is. He'll help him. He will help him, but he'll be like, "You're an idiot. Fuck you. Settle down. I don't agree with you, and fuck you. Fire me. But I don't agree with you." And I like that. So I really enjoyed the Alfred role in Zack Snyder's Justice League.
Yes.
Way more involved. I appreciated that. I totally forgot where we were going with this.
I don't know. What were we talking about? Martian Manhunter.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter. So obviously a lot of things were leaked, and a lot of things weren't leaked. But the Martian Manhunter scene, I was so looking forward to.
Oh.
And I didn't know when it was going to happen, how it was going to happen. The fact that it was the last motherfucking scene.
I know.
And
he's like, Dark Side is coming back.
Yeah, he's coming. Yeah, and
we'll need you. And then it's over, and I'm like, I want more.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, when's the next one?
Exactly. So,
all right, so let me run this by you, Dave. So here's my crackpot theory.
I'm pouring a beer. I'm just gonna. Yeah.
There were three things that led me to this.
Okay.
Lois Lane's pregnant. That's my thought, because remember, she opened the nightstand on the pregnancy test. She could not go to work. She could not get over the loss of him. Second thing was Bruce Wayne, when he's like, it's about Lois, but there's something darker about losing her because she has a child.
His child, yeah.
Third thing, when he buys the house and he's walking in with Clark back to, Martha's house, he pats him on the back. He's like, oh yeah, by the way, congratulations.
Oh shit, no way. You think?
Why?
It's very possible.
Congratulations for what? I thought that would be the last scene, that you find out she's pregnant, and it's like she's gonna die. He's gonna lose her
with his baby. Yeah,
that's the anti-life equation.
That's very possible. That's very possible.
That's where I think they were heading. So those three things, good crackpot theory. But why would they show the pregnancy test?
Why would they? You're right.
Why would they? It's something darker. What about her would cause Superman to go dark besides losing her child? And then congratulations. So I'm like, there's some hidden things that were said. I could be totally way off base.
You probably have some valid points. I'm gonna have to watch that shit again, because I do remember her looking in the nightstand drawer and seeing the pregnancy test. I did not put two and two together.
I didn't at that point either, until something darker, when it ends that chapter and he's like, I think there's something darker. And by the way, I love that this one actually referenced a nightmare, where he's like, you know what? He's looking at Barry and he's like, I had a premonition. I was sitting right here.
Yeah.
And he told me. I love that. And it ties in, because everyone's like, oh, and we're going to do a whole podcast on BVS. Don't worry.
Oh, God. Yes.
Like, that nightmare made no sense. It was a waste of time. Almost like it was.
Who says that?
Exposition into something that you're like, oh, is this ever going to tie in? Yes. Because it's where the movies are heading, but people don't have patience, Dave. We need that gratification.
Well, I was, thinking about this earlier. I don't really hold salt to movie critics who only praise artisan films.
Yeah.
And this goes back to your text with the Rotten Tomatoes screenshot. I fucking hate the word aggregate. Oh. I fucking hate algorithms.
Yep.
It means nothing to me. And that there is a significant percentage of people who will actually rate a movie based on Rotten Tomatoes, whether they have seen it or not.
The mentality of that.
Yeah, exactly. And many film critics are professional people who look at artisan independent films. Of course they're not going to like this movie. They've never read a fucking comic book in their life, and that's fine if they haven't. But this was a good goddamn fucking epic movie. Dave. Amazing.
Seriously, like wasn't it though? I mean, from everything, the action, the character development, the acting.
Thank you for saying that. Thank you. It wasn't just a popcorn bubblegum.
No, Like I liked Aquaman so much better in this.
Me too.
Yeah. He was a dick in the other version. This one, he was different. And then whatever Mera with the English accent was way better than her in Aquaman.
Right. And having Willem Dafoe in it to give us some context.
Yes.
You know, even fucking Barry Allen or Ezra Miller's character.
Way better.
It was better. Because it like he was like fucking Barney Fife comic relief in the Justice version.
A whim.
And in this version, he was still comic relief, but there was with context. He was, thank God, no brunch joke. And listen, hey JJ, we're still doing the brunch podcast, right?
Oh, we're doing we're doing the brunch podcast.
Okay. It's okay to have that kind of character, because if you are familiar with the comics, and if you are, that's great. If you're not, that's great. But Barry Allen is kind of a goofball.
Yeah.
In
kind
the
of a quirky
comics,
guy.
He's the quirky Justice League member. He's the immature, quirky one, blah, blah, blah. But what I like about this version of the movie is it showed how much of a hero he was. And I like that. And I'm going to kind of just go on a sidetrack again. The scene where Wonder Woman loses her sword and Barry Allen, gets it back. I was pleasantly surprised that was a Zack Snyder's shot, because that was a great shot. And one more thing, and I'll let you have the floor.
Okay.
It's almost insulting that Joss let some of Zack's finest moments in his version, because it shows how lazy he is. He's like, well, this is actually a pretty good scene. I'm gonna leave it because that's good, because I can't do better. It's almost like I'm gonna do the campy, shitty, light Avengers version, but something that I couldn't do because I'm not a visionary, I'll leave that.
Yeah.
And
that with that. And then, well, here's the thing too. Oh man, I lost my train of thought. Okay, here's a scene that bugged me in Justice League. The mother box dropping it into the water. And I knew that had to be in there because I'm like, there's no other way to resurrect him. So I'm like, I know that was Zack's scene. And for the most part, even though it was totally different, what bugged me about that was when he had to hit it right when it hits the water. In Justice League, it's in the water like that much. And you're like, it's too late. This one, it shows he's going so fast, he takes basically alters time. So it raises up and then he hits it. So like it gives you the why of every single thing. Like, I don't know what that movie was that they released in 2017. It was a Frankenstein of a movie. That was
it was.
And on its own, you're like, okay, it's an entertaining movie. I just, killed some brain cells for 2 hours and relaxed and forgot about life. When you see this and the potential of what that movie should have been, what was Warner Brother? Those executives should all be fired if they're still employed.
Well, I hope they're not. And to your point, it was the runtime was 1 hour and 56 minutes, I think. And at the time, the Marvel movies were very successful at 2 hours and 15 minutes or longer. Yeah. Very successful. So 1 hour and 56 minutes for fucking Justice League is inexcusable. Yeah.
And
I don't know.
Everything was better. Like, how about just Steppenwolf himself? The CGI.
Oh my gosh.
He was creepy. He creeped me out. And his spiders.
Yes.
Crawling down the people's faces. Like, that's eerie.
I know.
His armor was awesome. It altered. It moved.
Right. So for the fans out there that are going to be watching this podcast, please reach out to Jonathan. He has the best meme I've ever seen. It's the Tom from Tom and Jerry meme. Yes. The Justice League, Steppenwolf, and the motherfucking Zack Snyder Steppenwolf. It's so perfect because you're right. He is scary, and I'll go on. Let me piggyback on that.
Yeah,
he's scary on his own. Okay, yes. Motherfucking scary, and he's still a peon. He's still a minion of Darkseid.
Yeah, like right? He screwed up, so he is trying to work his way back. That's
50,000 worlds. Yeah. He still has to conquer 50,000 worlds to get on Darkseid's good side, and he's already
the scene where he's underwater and he's cutting them in half and ripping them apart.
Oh my gosh, yeah, just
hey, the parademons sharp fangs, not normal teeth, like in
right, way more scary.
They didn't explode into green goo like you stepped on a firefly.
Yeah, and I love that because the whole scene of Barry Allen like, I don't like bugs, I'm scared of bugs, blah 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 blah.
And he runs through them and he's like, ooh.
That was such a Joss Whedon just fucking around.
He's an idiot.
He really is. Hey, he's
and he could have said, here's the deal, he could have said no. That's why I'm like, I know he did his job and he did the movie. He could have said no. I'm not going to do this. It's not the right thing. You know, this vision is not right. I believe Zack's version's better.
Right.
I'm not going to do it. So I'm sorry. Yeah. I have integrity. He has no integrity. Exactly. And besides all the rumors of how he acts on the set, the man has no integrity.
You know what? His career, I hope, is over. He's another Me Too fucking motherfucker like Harvey Weinstein, and it's going to come out. I mean, look, like, the sexism is one thing, but the fact that he might have been racist to Ray Fisher, what? Fuck him. Are you kidding me?
And because Ray had a rosary tattoo, and so he berates him for that.
No way.
Like,
wow.
Just shoot the movie. Just ruin the movie like you did, Joss, and move on.
Listen, as a comic book fan, I have a zero interest in Cyborg, but I love Cyborg in this movie. I think great character, great. He actually
has a character. You can't
exactly.
He's a computer man, and you're like, okay, who cares? In the original version, you're like, I don't care.
Mom dies in a car crash, daddy issues. I just amazing character.
Yes.
Just great character. I don't know why they would cut any second of that out. No. That's ridiculous. I mean, like, if I almost don't want to watch it, the 2017 one, unless you and I do like a live commentary, like Mystery Science Theater 2000, where let's do a fucking 2-hour podcast while we watch it and do commentary over it, and then we record ourselves destroying our copies, just snapping them in half like that. It's garbage. It's garbage compared to this. I mean,
compared to this, yeah. Like I said, as a standalone, like what really made me mad in 2017 was I sat there and I kept waiting for Black Suit Superman, never showed up, and I'm like, I think the movie, like I think they cut some because we didn't know the backstory. We had no idea.
I know.
You're like, there's this whole other movie and Josh,
right? And
over, and you're like, what?
Exactly. And I was telling Brenda, I'm like, when it came out, I think there was a lot of non-disclosure contracts because no one said shit.
No one.
It just came out and we're watching it, and fans like you and I were like, what am I watching? What am I like scratching our heads? Like, okay, so Superman's Whoville face was noticeable. That was,
oh my God, the Whoville, yes.
Right? The Whoville face, so noticeable. So that was number one. Number two, way too much humor. I mean, like, okay.
And ridiculous, like Batman, I don't not like you. And then he's like, like that when Superman shows up, he's like pumping his fist, and you're like, nah.
And JJ, don't get me wrong, I'm okay with the humor. Batman versus Superman, I love it when Batman rescues Martha Kent, and he's like, it's okay, I'm a friend of your son. And she's like, I know, the cape. That's fine. That's okay.
I love it. You need humor.
Right. It's unique, and it's like once in a 3-hour movie. But like in Justice League, it's like joke, and it's so campy and it's so corny. It's like just fucking throw in Adam West and do some like pow, back out.
The Flash falling into Wonder Woman's chest.
I know, right? Yeah, ha. Brunch. Believe me, I'm so glad that we were right, that the brunch joke was not a Zack Snyder.
Oh my God. Weren't you worried though?
A little bit. Were you?
Yeah. I checked my text to see if you had texted me, and I'm like,
I did not.
Oh, if it's brunch,
I turned my head and I'm like, to Brenda,
you felt it coming.
I'm like, okay, so they're setting up his character as insecure. Please tell me that this was not a Zack Snyder line. And it wasn't. I'm like, no. Thank God. But if it was, I will be fair. If it was, Zack set his character up. He set it up to be that kind of guy. You know what I mean? But Joss just stole it and ran with it on his own.
And here's what I like too, like bringing back Superman. They explain how the mother box worked by bringing Cyborg to life, which they never did in Justice.
Nope.
how it could bring Superman back. And there's no debate. Like, they're like, we need to do it no matter what. And like, I like it because Barry's like, do I need to say it? I don't want to say it. Like, we need to bring him back. Where the other one, he's like, Pet Cemetery, which was a funny line. I did laugh.
Yes.
You had to laugh. But in this one, you're like, he's like, we need to bring him back. And you're like, yes. And everyone, remember the other one, Bruce Wayne was almost like suicidal and just a dick, like, about Wonder Woman. He's making Steve Trevor comments. There was none of that in this.
No.
None of that. Like he was on the rise of becoming the leader that he needs to be. So Superman's arc, he's not where he needs to be yet. But Bruce Wayne has evolved to a leader and realizing like he's totally different than the miserable, cruel man that he was in Batman versus Superman, which I don't think that's a bad guy. Sometimes I think you need that to take care of the trash, but he's evolved and he's a leader and he sees what's important. And Justice League didn't. He was going for, cruel jokes to Wonder Woman. And you're like, there wasn't any of that here. They were a team. That was so divisive. And then he's like, oh, well, I'm just going to go kill myself to bring down the shield. That wasn't quite like this in this one. He's like, don't worry about me. I'll take care of it. You guys, take care of what you need to do. But it wasn't like that one's like he's suicidal.
Right.
In Justice League. And he wasn't like that in this one.
No,
he had hope. He had faith.
I also like, and I know you're more Superman than I am, and don't get me wrong, I love Superman. I really enjoy Man of Steel. I love the dynamic of Superman in B versus S. Mm-hmm. But I appreciate how little screen time he had because it was so important. It was probably the most important screen time in the film, in the 4-hour film. I mean, Jonathan, I don't think he came in until after 3.5 hours.
No, it was seriously, because I looked at the time, I paused for bathroom break, and I'm like, holy shit, Superman's not even in
right. Yeah. But it was so important.
He didn't need to be. He did not need to be.
Right.
It was Cyborg. It was Bruce.
Yeah. It was Aquaman.
It wasn't Batman. It was Bruce Wayne.
And it wasn't even Wonder Woman. She had very little screen time. But at that time, her movie already came out. We already knew her, right? Yep. We already knew about her. So it was really about the other characters fleshing out their,
But for fans of her, she had a lot more screen time. The whole temple scene where she puts the arrow in and there's a hidden temple and it has a whole story.
She was the one that was able to explain what's happening.
Yes.
Like that like she was like, okay, there's apocalypse and there's Darkseid, he's coming down. So that was so important. And only she was able to know that because of the arrow that came down that got her attention. So yes, you're right.
Exactly. And then I liked too. So explaining what's going on. So the mother boxes, you're like, yeah, okay, no big deal. There's a whole anti-life equation that makes people submissive and turns good people bad. That's setting up the next two movies.
And the Justice League never explained that it was like sorcerers that combined them. No. And they said it's a science that's so beyond us that it seems like sorcery, but it's not. Like it was like the Justice League version was so handed down, like this is what you get. This is it. Accept it. Just accept it.
It's surface face value, nothing there. It's get out the popcorn. Don't even think. Just turn the mind off. Yeah. You don't even have to accept. How does all this happen? What are the mother boxes? Who cares? They separate them easily, and then you're like, okay, Steppenwolf gets carried off by his parademons.
Yeah. Steppenwolf, who looked like fucking Liam Neeson, just
he did.
Like right,
like a goat.
Yeah, your friendly uncle who turned bad, like so non-menacing. This Steppenwolf was fucking scary as fuck. Oh my god.
And then how about Desaad?
Oh my god, Desaad was more scary than him. Yeah, because he's kind of like him, the envoy. He's like, hey, what do you got? Okay, you want me to go back and tell Darkseid this? No, not good enough. Fuck you. Yeah. You're doing it bad. You're doing a bad job. Like,
let me ask you this. You may know this because I don't. So with the whole thing with how did Darkseid not know which planet he was on? I know he got wounded and taken away, but how did he not remember that Earth was where the mother boxes were? I know he didn't know where they were because they were dormant, but about the anti-life equation, because when he landed, he hit and it showed up. So how did he not know?
I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. That might be just a movie magic mystery to me. Yeah. I don't think that. I think that in the comic books he probably would have remembered. But
yeah, and that's why, like, I mean, it's not like I don't think it's a plot hole, because Zach throws stuff out there, and then all of a sudden, like the whole nightmare scene, and then all of a sudden again, like that sets up the entire future of the Justice League. And so maybe this is something that'll would come to fruition, and I hope it does. Like, I don't know. And then, okay. Speaking of, how about the line? The humanity line was not in the movie.
Which
from
one?
the trailer? Jared Leto.
Oh,
when he talks about humanity, he's like, "Isn't that right, Batman?" That's not in there.
Oh, the society line.
Society line.
You're right. That you're right. I'm very confused why that didn't make it. But
I like it when he's like, "When you send a boy wonder to do a man's."
Oh, Jonathan, that by far was one of the most powerful scenes. And Batman's like, "Watch what you say next. Be careful." And I'm paraphrasing. And then he says what he says, and then Batman's like, "That's not being careful."
I love it.
And then was it me, or was the Joker handcuffed? I couldn't tell. Was he restrained?
I don't know. Or was he holding guns? And then he gives him the card, and he's like, "As long as."
Oh, okay. But I thought maybe he was restrained. I couldn't tell. But listen. Trust me, that's one of my favorite scenes. I probably. Epic. Tonight, I watched that at least 3 times. I was like, rewind. And he's like, "You know what it's like to lose mother, father." And then Batman's like, "Watch what you say." Yes. And he's like, adopted, whatever he said, adopted son or referring to Robin, of course. And he's like, "That's not being careful." And what you said, never send a boy to do a man's job. Like, clearly talking about murdering Robin, a boy wonder to do a man's job, clearly referring to murdering Robin. And Batman had to restrain himself. But then my favorite line is, "And mark my words, I will fucking kill you."
Yes.
Mark my words, I will fucking kill you. I love that. Please, Zach, please continue this universe. Please HBO Max. I don't know if the site crashed. Thank goodness it didn't crash when I watched it, but man, that just sets.
No, I had glitches. I had pauses,
Yeah.
and screen goes dark, and then it came back. Let me ask you this: so the Joker said something about "she died in your arms." Was he talking about
Lois?
Lois
had to have been, because Lois is the key to Nightmare. Nightmare only exists if Lois dies. That's the key, and that's why Flash warned Bruce.
He said, "You were always right about him," and he said, "Lois is the key." But then he ends it where he's like, "You were always right about him." Where Batman's like, "We have reason to fear if there's a 1% chance, he goes bad," and he does.
I'm guessing, but I think I'm right. Lois died in Batman's arms, bleeding.
Yes,
and Lois is the one that said, "Kill Joker slowly."
Oh,
because that's when he said, "In dying in my arms, she made
but
me."
He said Harley dying.
Did he say Harley?
Afterwards? Yes.
Sure.
That's when the Joker he started.
I need to watch it again. Okay.
Kill him.
Okay. But it's Lois that died bleeding
in his arms. Yeah.
Because that's Nightmare doesn't exist. And that's why Joker says, "You need me to make sure this doesn't exist. This reality." Right.
And that would be Justice League too.
Yeah. Right. Exactly.
And hey, how about the Lex Luthor scene, which was, I thought Josh shot it, was the yacht scene.
Me too. Yes.
It was totally different.
It was different. So what it looks like Josh chopped the fuck up, right?
Yeah.
Or I don't think it was reshot, but clearly that was a Zack scene. Okay.
Maybe he shot different footage of him saying we need a league of our own.
Yeah.
And Joss added that in. But I love it where he's like, maybe this will help you out. The Batman's name is Bruce Wayne.
Yes.
And that was amazing. The Affleck's movie, The Batman.
Yes. Right.
Where Deathstroke goes after him and makes it personal and kills everyone in his life.
Right. And that's why it was so crazy to see the epilogue Nightmare scene where
they're buddies.
They're buddies. Mohawk Joe right there next to him, and Joker there right next to him. Just and apparently Aquaman's dead. That's
Aquaman. How about so that's what I love too was when the computer told him, "Don't do this, don't bring him back," and it showed Cyborg the future of the nightmare of Wonder Woman being burned, of apparently Aquaman's dead. He killed Arthur.
Right.
Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The Justice League sign, and then how about black? Like that was Black Suit Superman floating, holding Batman's cowl.
Oh,
I believe he's holding his head or his cowl.
Oh, yes, it was his cowl. Yeah, it was. Yeah.
But then at the end, he has the blue suit, which is interesting. So he goes.
Yeah, I noticed that. Suit. So the nightmare scene at the end, he was back in blue. So
yeah, but
we definitely need more. I mean, that's what I will say. But overall,
what would you give? How many stars out of 5?
Out of 5 stars?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously 5. Obviously.
10,
but 10. JJ, like I swear to you, it's like
it's the Godfather of comic book movies.
It is.
Lord of the Rings of comic book movies.
It is. Well, okay. Fuck Lord of the Rings, because each of those movies is 3 hours too long. Okay, that's 9 hours. That's 9 hours. That's too long. This movie, and I'm telling you, I'm not joking. I was looking at the clock and I'm like, I want it to be longer. I
wasn't ready for it to end.
Yeah, I hate that there's an hour left. I hate that there's 30 minutes left. I hate that there's 50 minutes left. And I'm watching.
And you watch the end credits. I was hoping for something more.
Yeah, and it was
something.
But it was just a beautiful rendition of Leonard Cohen's Hallelujah.
That was his daughter's favorite song.
Oh, was that? Is that what it was? Oh,
that's why I put at the ending where he said "For Autumn" and then played that. So
so beautiful, beautiful. But wow, I got to tell you, I did not have high hopes for the Jared Leto scene. I don't know why.
No, but I thought it was going to be really short.
Yeah, I was super impressed, and clearly Ben Affleck showed up for the reshoots. I don't know why that wasn't leaked, but he had to have been there, right?
All of them did.
He wasn't talking to no one. Yeah, that was a major reshoot, a major or not reshoot, but like extra
scene.
Yeah. Just amazing scene with Jared Leto.
And that's the only thing that was extra. So this was supposed to be 4 hours. It was supposed to end on the cliffhanger. That was the original thought.
That was it. Okay.
Yeah. So I mean, nothing was changed because he said, yeah, it ends on a cliffhanger. And they're like, well, why? And he said, because there was supposed to be part 2 and 3. I'm not changing my movie. This is what I shot and what I intended. He said, I added the scene in. I'm not going to tell you where it is, but I added the nightmare scene. But he said, it's my movie and it's going to end how it should have ended, as if there would have been more, even though there's not going to be more. But he said, that's the movie and I'm not changing it.
I wonder if that's the case, if the Martian Manhunter scene was extra or not.
No, I don't think so. I think it was in there.
Wow. Man, fuck Warner Brothers.
Who's it? Or morons. Like whoever, like
they really are. Sheep followers. Like, oh, it's not Marvel, it's not Avengers, it's not cute, it's not funny.
Yeah.
It's not one size fits all.
It's dark. Well, yeah, these are people that most of them are gods, supernatural beings, super abilities that are struggling with morality and confidence and faith and all that. And then you have Batman who's struggling with all of that.
And he's mortal and no powers. Yeah. So grounded.
It's dark. They're dark characters. They're not light.
My only, like, I get it. I get how people are dumb as fuck. Trust me, Jonathan, most people are fucking followers, not leaders. But still, my problem is, go back to 1989, Batman, Michael Keaton. That was dark. And that's one of the most popular, critically acclaimed movies of all time. I don't understand why people can't appreciate that. It's always, DC's always been dark. Warner Brothers, Batman. Why now are you saying it's too dark? I don't get that.
No. And they're good movies. They're quality. They're substantial. Like the Man of Steel. Oh, he shouldn't kill anybody. We'll get into that. We're doing a podcast.
Oh my gosh, sorry.
Batman versus Superman. Batman had a gun. He killed people. Yeah, get over it.
I mean, to your point,
in this one, Wonder Woman killed people. She killed all of those terrorists brutally.
Way brutally. So the Wonder Woman standalone movie, do you remember when she killed the wrong guy?
Oh, yeah.
He was a bad guy. Don't get me wrong. Yeah. But she like with your words, no hesitation, killed him.
Yeah.
And it's like, okay, that was the wrong bad guy. but she still killed him.
Yeah.
And then she still had to kill the god or whoever it was. But like,
who was in this one?
That's
Zeus Theories. He had the axe.
That's right. That's right. So
David Thewlis.
That's David Thewlis, who was in Island of Dr. Moreau.
Yes.
Right?
That's another podcast.
Woo, woo, woo. I have to, I can't believe I remember that. Anyway, but the point is, 1989 Batman. Okay, Batman holding the Joker over the edge of the building. I'm going to kill you. And he would have. And he did, inadvertently, because Joker escaped and he shot the little grapple hook and he died in the helicopter.
He slipped out of his glove or something, right?
But he intended on killing him. Yeah. Like Batman kills. Why is that a surprise?
I know.
Batman shoots people with a gun. Why is that bad? These are movies. It's fun.
It's a different take. It's a different take. And if you don't like it, I know. But this movie was fantastic. Like seriously,
I know.
4 hours of epic action, drama, backstory. Like it answered the why of the lesson.
Wow.
Here's what's sad, Dave. Most people I know don't even know about, like, why is this? It's the same movie. It's not the same movie. Like they have no idea the whole backstory about what they saw in 2017 was just cobbled together. It's a Frankenstein of a movie to get really out there, and it's still made a lot of money, but it's just the substance wasn't there. When you see this and what it should have been, the movie we saw tonight,
oh my God,
it's just a shame. It's a shame. So I hope enough people see. I know a lot of people like that aren't even like diehard comic people that were watching it tonight.
Yeah, good. I know that there are critics, like the art house critics, aren't going to like it, and that's fine. Fuck them.
That's fine.
But there are some open-minded critics who are like, this is a thrill ride, epic adventure, great 4 hours. I even saw a critic this morning on TV saying, hey, you don't have to watch it all the way through. Take your time, watch a little bit. It's a good movie.
Chapters are good,
right? No, I love that there's chapters. I love that, and I actually wish that HBO Max would let you do chapters. Would that be cool if you could?
Yes, if you could fast forward or
right.
The good thing is if you pause it on HBO Max, you can go back to it same pause point. But just so good. I mean, I'm going to watch it again with Rachel this weekend, Saturday or Sunday, and I mean, just phenomenal. And I want to watch Batman versus Superman again because supposedly that was on HBO Max today. The new frame. Like kind of like with this.
Oh, really? Okay.
It's the IMAX frame. So like the whole nightmare scene is completely, you see so much more.
I've heard about that. Yeah.
And then he changed the color to it. So he made the color better. So it's an improved version. So that was supposed to launch today. I don't know if it did or not, but I want to watch that again. And then, but I mean, this one definitely, I mean, this is something where I'm elated because of waiting 4 years for this. And I never thought I'd see the light of day.
I know. Right.
And it delivered. I want more. Like that's my thing. As soon as it ended, I'm like, I want more. When's the next one coming out? There probably will never be a next one.
Maybe, don't say that. Who would have thought that this would have come out? Who would have thought? I mean, the 2017 Justice League pretty much killed what you and I know as the DC Universe movies. Look, I liked Aquaman, directed by James Wan. I did, but it was not the same Aquaman from the Snyderverse, and it was.
Oh, who was this guy tonight? Like this Aquaman character was totally different,
right?
Yeah, the other two were different almost. Like I said, Rachel didn't really care for him. A bit of a dick, in First Justice League, and then this one, but he was more noble, and he's okay. The Justice one where he's sitting on the last.
Oh, I hate that. I hate that.
You're hot.
I hate that. No, and he's
funny.
Talking about
Funny, but
feelings and everything. Like, you got the last one. No, totally different. But yeah, and look, it makes me kind of sad. So, just random thoughts here. I haven't seen Shazam yet. I don't know if I will.
It's fun. I enjoyed it. It's fun.
Okay.
Standalone movie, like. I can't imagine him flying around with Batman and Superman.
That's what I'm saying. And then Wonder Woman 1984. I'm sure you've seen.
Yes.
It's okay. I liked it a lot, but
beginning was awesome.
It's clearly not in the DCU, the Snyderverse, because Wonder Woman is supposed to have been gone for like hundreds of years.
Yeah.
How does she appear in 1984 and like
Save
Batman
the
doesn't know
world.
about it, right?
Nobody remembers that.
And yeah, exactly. So it's Warner Brothers does this all the time. They fucking shit the bed because they can't be confident in a vision. Not
But let
like
them
Marvel.
do the multiverse. Like let them do that.
Yeah.
Okay. Let Affleck do. And there's rumors like Ben Affleck, Jared Leto, Joe Manganiello, a Batman series on HBO Max.
You know what? Let HBO Max have a Snyderverse.
Yes.
I don't care what you call it.
Yeah.
But let
them
do
it has nothing to do with all these other movies. I don't care.
Same here. I don't give a fuck. Exactly. Look, do a Wonder Woman 1995.
I know. Okay. Speaking of vision, and we'll wrap this up. I got a 2.5 hour drive in the morning.
Oh my God. I forgot how late it is for you. Wow, Jesus Christ.
And Elizabeth's probably trying to sleep in the next room too. She's got school, so she's probably like, shut up. But what I like was the main thing in 2017, where you see Man of Steel, you see Batman versus Superman. There's a continuity of the vision of those movies, the look, the feel,
right?
The cinematography. Justice League 2017, nothing like those. This one, right there, lock, stock, and barrel. Like it just continues that feel,
right?
And the colors, like the Justice League, like that whole like red palette,
right? Everything was bright and red.
This was night. It was dark. It was amazing.
And Zack is gray. It's cool colors. It's blue. It's dark. Like you said, it's the Snyderverse. That's what was intended. And Joss is like, well, let's just ramp it up. Let's make it, let's do some pastels. Let's do some reds, some brights.
Yeah. Let's have this. Let's have your the world that you're building like turn fluorescent purple and spring flowers for the Russian family.
Right.
Who greenlit that? Who watched Snyder's movie and said, we got to change this. We can't release this shit. And then they're like, Joss are clapping. I love the flowers. I love the Russian family. I love the Flash falling in her cleavage. I love the total ripoff of Batman 89 to start the movie with the villain on the roof.
Easy answer. Marvel owns their own movie studio.
Yep.
And Warner Brothers has a plethora of movie varieties that they do. They do Harry Potter, they do DC, they do fucking cartoons. Yeah. I mean, historically, Warner Brothers is a pretty shitty studio. As far as we only do what we think will get us money, and okay. And sorry, I know you have to go soon. This might be another podcast, but like if you think about it, going back to going back to 2008, when Iron Man came out, that was Paramount. There was no such thing as Marvel Studios.
That's right.
Okay, Marvel did not have a movie company. Now Disney owned Marvel, but there was no Marvel Studios. So Paramount was the company that financed and made Iron Man and Incredible Hulk, which is interesting because Incredible Hulk still somehow Disney doesn't own the rights to. I don't know why.
No, it's Sony, right? Is it Sony?
No, that's Spider-Man. But Incredible Hulk and Spider-Man are still not owned by Disney. So it took a couple years for Disney to actually create a Marvel, studios, like their own company.
Yeah.
And that's why everything is like, okay, so we'll have a variety of directors and writers like James Gunn and Joss Whedon and whoever fucking did the Ant-Man movies, whatever. But at the they're still like puppet strings, which is Marvel Studios. Warner Brothers does not have puppet strings over the DC universe.
Yeah.
And that's the problem. They care more about the bottom line, and they care more about pleasing the audience. And unfortunately, they care about more of what's popular now. And when B versus S came out, it was not popular because it was not like the Avengers.
Yeah.
And for you and me,
it didn't hit the $1 billion mark. That was, I mean, 765 million didn't make $1 billion. So
exactly.
And then they screwed David Ayer out of Suicide Squad.
Oh my gosh. And if you have ever seen another David Ayer film, he is a hardcore R-rated director. He makes some awesome movies.
We cut 90% of Jared Leto's footage from that.
Well, yeah, exactly. I mean, he totally got screwed.
It's a different movie. So hopefully maybe next year we'll see the Ayer cut of Suicide Squad.
I mean,
it's done. It's finished, I heard. Like David Ayer's like, it's finished. It's ready to go.
I want that. You want that. But trust me, I know David Ayer. He doesn't give a fuck. He's moved on. He's actually a very competent R-rated director. Random example. Have you seen the movie Tax Collectors with Shia LaBeouf?
No.
Okay. David Ayer, aside from comic book movies, he directs some really hardcore R-rated hardcore shit.
Like, didn't he do Fury, the tank movie with Brad Pitt and
I think so. I think so. Yeah, very possible. But he, he's a very hardcore director. He got hired to do Suicide Squad. He did his job. Warner Brothers cut the shit out of it, and he's like, "Okay, I got paid. Whatever. I don't give a fuck. I don't."
He cares though. If you like on Twitter, like he's. I don't know if he cares, but he basically disowned and said it's not his.
Okay, right. I don't think he cares as much as Zack Snyder. I don't think David Ayer is like pushing for a Suicide Squad cut as much as Zack Snyder was.
I'd like to see it because I like it if the artist.
Of course, me too. Yeah.
But give me Justice League too and the Batman.
I love that Zack Snyder made no money off this. That's awesome to me that he's like, you know what? I'm just doing this. Yeah. Here's give me the budget for the post-production. Here's what I wanted you to see. We saw it. It's awesome. I think we're going to see more. I really do.
I do too. I mean, that's a rumor. I think they're just waiting. I don't know how long, but I can't imagine how many people with all those good reviews, with the number of streams. I can't wait to see.
Yes.
I mean, they greenlit Wonder Woman 3 on an okay movie within 24 hours.
Wonder Woman 2 wasn't that good. So I mean, there's got to be more Snyderverse. And even if it's like we said, even if it's HBO Max, even if it's the HBO Max Snyderverse, I don't give a fuck. Give it to me.
Yeah.
Warner Brothers, call it what you want. Okay. But the real fans are gonna clamor to see more Snyderverse.
Oh, yeah. And they're gonna be relentless. You think they were relentless for this to come out? I mean, I read that they couldn't even like HBO's posting, hey, check out Sesame Street on HBO. they're like, fuck Yama. We want Snyder Justice League.
Nice.
They can't do anything. So this is just they fed the fans, and now the fans are going to want more. So
I hope so. All right. I got to sneeze. Hold on.
Right. And I got to go in a minute.
Oh, all right. Well, in that case, we'll just call it a podcast, and we'll resume. Hey, this is our first successful, only because we're doing this drunken podcast.
I love it.
Of initial reactions. If we post this and if there are fans, great.
We'll post it tomorrow. I'll post it tomorrow, Dave.
Oh my God, you're crazy.
On YouTube.
Right. And then subsequently, I promise our fans who are watching, we're going to do some actual agendas and bullet points and talking points, and we'll make it a little bit more professional. I won't be stuttering as much, I hope.
Raw emotion, Dave. It's a little bit of booze. Well, maybe a lot. And raw emotion, power, passion.
Oh, you're right. So thank you, Jonathan. Based on what you just said, if we're going to end this and make sure that it's raw emotion, I got to tell whoever's watching this and you too, Jonathan, Batman versus Superman was by far my favorite superhero comic book movie.
Mm-hmm.
Motherfucking Zack Snyder's Justice League is just trumps it so far. It's just phenomenal. It's eye candy. It's ear candy. It's amazing. If you have a high def widescreen TV, don't let the black lines fool you.
Yeah.
You're gonna think it's box screen, whatever you call it. It's shot that way for a reason. You actually will see more. Don't think that you're getting cheated. It's amazing.
And a guy that does AV for a living texted me and called me tonight, and he's like, "Is my TV screwed up?" And I said, it was shot. Yeah, he was full. This guy that's
no way.
He was
Wow.
totally full. I said no. And he's like, it was driving me nuts. I'm like, it's intended. Enjoy the movie.
Okay. So apparently me and Jonathan are in the know. You knew, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. It's supposed to be. The black lines are going to be vertical, not horizontal, but it's supposed to be that way. I promise you. However expensive or high def your TV is, it's supposed to be shot that way. Enjoy it. Ignore the lines. Enjoy the scenes. Zach loves the IMAX camera and angles. I promise you, you'll see more than you think you will. Yeah, you will. It's amazing. So enjoy it. I don't have any more closing thoughts. Pretty drunk. I hope you are too, JJ. Hey, and before you close out, I know it's late for you.
Okay.
Great seeing you. For those of you at home, this we live like a million miles apart. This is my first time seeing my friend here in a long time.
Holy crap. When was it? Since 2018? No, 2017.
2017 is when I last saw you, my friend.
When you came to
Nope. 2018. And nope, 2018, because we went shoe shopping for you.
We did. Yes, I had to get the shoe rack because I
shoe rack. Yeah. I helped you clean your apartment, and
Rachel was coming to town,
and I was drinking beers out of your fridge, and you said, "Dave, don't be a pussy. No one likes a pussy. Drink more beer." I'll never forget that.
Don't be a quitter.
Yeah, no one likes a quitter. Sorry. Anyway, end it when you want to, but great seeing you. Podcast listeners, great seeing you. We'll be back with more. All right.
We'll be back. Yes.
All right. Later, JJ.
All right. Bye.
Boop.